Rod Stewart there, the wonderful Rod Stewart with that old black magic. It's 27 to 6. And look, as someone who drives along in Kangaroo Valley regularly, I'm often amazed at the number of dead wombats that I see on the side of the road, not to mention, unfortunately, the odd kangaroo as well. And it strikes me that some people perhaps are just driving too fast or not paying attention at all. Now, I know for a fact that on Mount Scansey Road in the valley, there's the wombat signs, and also if you're driving along Sussex Inlet Road, for example, you've got the kangaroo signs, the ones that the yellow and black ones say, beware of kangaroos. Well, they don't actually say that, but they imply that, don't they? But what if the signs were modified to bring on a more emotional connection? Do you think that would make a difference? Do you think that would help drivers slow down? Joining me now is Rob Brewster, who's the Director of Rewilding Australia, to share some news on a project that they're working on. Welcome to our Tuesday Drive.
Thank you very much, Stephen.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Look, tell us about this the organisation Rewilding. What is it?
So Rewilding Australia, we set ourselves up about 5 years ago really with the aim of re-establishing missing species from the mainland. So one of those is the eastern quoll, once found in Kangaroo Valley and all through the Shoalhaven, disappeared in the 1930s, extinct on the mainland by the 1960s. We've been working very closely with the team at Brewster National Parks and with the Australian National University to try and bring that back to the area. So we've had quite a bit of success with some breeding, but we've also had losses on the roads with 4 of our quolls in the first year being killed by cars, on the road.
Is there a number of quolls on the road around the area then?
So quolls move around. They love foraging, and one of those mechanisms that they use to forage is following trails. And what's better than well, I guess the best trail is a nice, well-sealed road. So we lost these animals. And look, these were 20 eastern quolls, bred in captivity, high-value species, the first 20 ever to go back on the mainland in the wild, and losing some to cars, it really just wasn't an option for us. So the project team sat down and we thought, what do we do? And at the same time, we were discussing with road agencies around Australia, how can we improve driver behaviour out there? And, can we do something to make drivers slow down a little? And the feedback really was, look, don't even bother with road signs. They just don't work. Anything basically smaller than a kangaroo, people won't slow down for, and they'll run it over. And we thought, that's not good enough. We need to trial something to elicit an emotional response from people, and putting photographs on the signs is what we did. And so far, the feedback is really positive. We've got lots of people that love the signs, and we think it might be contributing to better behaviour on the roads in the national park.
So Rob, where is the feedback coming from?
So just visitors for the national park, we're seeing people stopping at the signs and taking photos next to the signs. And feedback at campsites when we go and talk to people. Look, we saw this road sign with a beautiful photograph of this spotted little small mammal, and we're really watching for them now, and we're actually looking for them around the campsite to see if we can find one to see. We'd love to see something so beautiful, and so it's really anecdotal information that we've been given here, and what we're interested in doing is seeing if we can expand this program of using these photographic images on road signs to maybe save other species. So things like the wombat in the Shoalhaven. It really cops a lot of flack on our roads, and maybe photographic wombats printed on signs might just help do that.
It almost sounds to me like it's almost like a little bit of an Easter egg hunt, especially if you go to a camping ground and you say, for example, see a sign with a quoll on it. So you go around looking for quolls and you might stumble on another sign, for example, that has a wombat on it, and then you go looking for a wombat, and heavens forbid, then you see one with the kangaroos. So it could have like two effects going on here.
Yeah, look, that's right. And I think a lot of people just never see our wildlife. So seeing a black silhouette on a yellow sign on the side of the road that is basically a blob for a wombat, it really doesn't provide that connection with the species. So if we can improve the connection that drivers have through the use of photographic image, it really might be a way to slow cars down and make people think a little bit more, and also, I guess, providing some risk-based information on that sign, so when to slow down, dusk and dawn, between those periods, and what to do. So, actually a slow down message on the sign as well.
And then that was actually my next question for you. So the current signs, of course, we basically, like as you said, just have a blob of an animal which is black, and then of course the background is yellow. So your signs are going to have a photograph of the animal, and will there be a lot of information though on that? Because I know for a fact when I drive by, you just quickly see the picture. So how much information do you think the motorist is actually going to absorb?
Yeah, that's right. We've got to make sure the message is very concise, very clear. So a quick, information on when the risk is out there, dusk to dawn.
Okay.
Very easy to read. It's also much better than just you see a lot of kangaroo signs that say next 5 kilometres. We've actually come across tourists that have been looking for kangaroos,
right,
which they thought they'd find in 5 kilometres, a sort of kangaroo viewing area. So there's I guess the current signs, they're probably a bit dated and could use a bit of a rejig. And we think we might have, one potential solution here, but we definitely need to get out there and test it over the next year or two and actually collect some data and see if it can work.
Now, Rob, of course, the signs that we've got at the moment are there to, to make motorists aware of wild animals. So, of course, I presume that is why they're the yellow and black. So, with your text, with your photograph, are you still going to have, or do you still have a yellow background to catch people's attention?
So, we've actually put it on a black background.
Right.
And the animal is a very light colour. Mm-hmm. So, but it's using just standard sort of reflective materials that are used on road signs. So very easy to see at night. Same size as a standard road sign that you'd see on the side of the road. It's pretty easy to pick up the message from this sign, we think.
Now, these signs, how much do they cost? I imagine they wouldn't be cheap.
No, look, they're not. To install ones on a pole and get it out there in the real world, it probably costs about $500 per sign. Mm-hmm. And we're looking for between 6 and 10 sites that we can test these road signs over the next couple of years. Mm-hmm. And we want to work with local councils to identify wildlife hotspots at the moment, roadkill hotspots. And we want to measure speeds. We want to also measure the rates of roadkill and see if these signs actually reduce those rates of roadkill over time.
Now, let's say hypothetically you choose Kangaroo Valley of all places to trial these signs. Would you actually be taking out the signs there at the moment, the ones that we're all used to, and replacing them, or would you be having 2 signs, like the old ones and the new ones?
Yeah, so we definitely need control sites, so where we actually keep the existing signs, keep monitoring the speed of cars and how many wombats are being killed on these roads. But we'd also look at actually replacing these signs in some areas to, I guess, work out whether the signs work or whether they're not effective. So it's really important, if we're going to roll this out across Australia, that we have sound data that actually demonstrates that it works. So, a mix of control sites and places where we replace the signage.
Now, I imagine an organisation like yours, Rob, at $500, it would be a lot of money. I imagine that would be a lot of food for a quoll.
It is.
Where's the money coming from, or are you looking for donors or sponsors?
Yeah, look, our money comes entirely from the public. We're not government funded. We are a tax-deductible organisation, so if you donate to us, we'll give you a tax-deductible receipt. So you can jump on our website, Rewilding Australia, and find us. And if you'd like to donate, we'd love your help with the project. And we will at some stage also be looking for volunteers that can help count roadkill in some of these wildlife hotspots. So, so definitely we'd love community involvement.
Well, Rob, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you this afternoon, and best of luck with the project. Please keep in touch and let us know how it all goes.
Thank you very much.
That was Rob Brewster, the director of Rewilding Australia, and if you put Rewilding Australia into your favourite search, and you'll definitely be able to find more information. And of course, if you want to help, they'll certainly accept any donation. Now, what do you think? Could replacing our standard wildlife road signs be the answer to A, protecting our wildlife, and B, even protecting your motor vehicle? Or do you think people just need more education when driving on the roads, especially when they're sharing them with our beautiful native wildlife? I'll make sure I get the interview up on our Tuesday Drive and Triple UFM Facebook page. Love to get your comments on this, in my opinion, wonderful project. It's 17 minutes to 6, and as promised, I have a little bit of ABBA for you. Good afternoon, this is Tuesday Drive.